Hello guys, just thought I'd shoot an update video. It is February 20th now, and we're past the polar vortex, which was actually a lengthy freeze. It was over 2 weeks where we had below 0 Celsius temperatures, so it kind of sucked, to tell you the truth. But in Vancouver, it got down to -9 Celsius. And here where we are on the island, Bowen Island, just off the coast of Vancouver, we're in a warmer zone, and the coldest I got here was -4.9 Celsius, and that's what I got on my weather station. And we're normally about 2 degrees warmer than the rest of the island, so the other side of the island is about 2 degrees cooler. So we are fortunate in that way, and that's just the proximity to the ocean, and also we're on the southwest side of the island. So these palms that you see here that were in pots, I threw them in the greenhouse, and of course there's no issues there. I had the greenhouse at 10 Celsius or warmer, and I even had this rhodo bloom in the greenhouse because it was so warm. This is Edgeworthia, so it's actually a fragrant rhododendron bloom, and I really love when it does bloom in the spring. So these other palms here were in the greenhouse, and they're doing absolutely fine. Did have to give them a good drink, because while they were in the greenhouse I did not give them any water. As for the rest of the yard, so far I don't see any damage whatsoever. The magnolia made out okay. Of course I did have to shake the heavy snow off of it one day. The olives are fine. They're sending out some new growth. Loquat is fine. Over here I had a small Trachycarpus fortunae crossed with a princeps that I did cover up. I put some frost cloth and then a blanket over it, but so far it looks pretty good. Of course, with palms sometimes they're very slow to show damage, so if in the spring it starts browning or if it has spear pull, then you know there's obvious damage to it. But for now, it looks okay. The Schlafera de la Vei is a trooper. This is probably my most cold tolerant Schlafera I have, and no issues there. Looking at the back of the property, these are all hardy. Obviously, all the maples are dormant. All the evergreens are hardy. This bamboo I had to shake off a few times for the heavy snow. All the rhododendrons are doing fine. Some of them are even close to blooming. That big magnolia was fine also. I also have a few large leaf rhododendrons in here which look fine as well. One more back here. So those are all good. Let's see here. Make our way to the front of the property. Show you a few other plants. You know, I never like sub-zero temperatures. The year before we got down to almost -12, and it did do some damage, so I don't want to take any risks. You know, you put so much love and effort into these plants that you don't want to, you know, if it's a matter of some simple protection, then I'll do it, you know. A very tall timber bamboo looks good. And of course the Tasmanian tree fern is still wrapped up, just in case we get any more freezes. I'm gonna try this method, this first for this year, wrapping it with burlap, bubble wrap, a whole bunch of leaves, and then a protective waterproof cover. So I have a client that does it this way, and he's been doing it for 30 years without any issues on his 15-foot tall tree ferns. So coming to the front of the property here, this magnolia made it out okay. Collar guards are pretty bulletproof, even not a spot of fungus on them whatsoever. They're just really a great choice for this wet climate. Rostrata, phormiums even look okay, and I didn't protect them really beyond some leaves. This is the eucalyptus. This is a very hardy Debuzophilia, I think it's called. I always forget the name of that one, but Blue Sentry yuccas are good. The small Sable Minors are good. This big Rostrata looks fantastic. The Sable Minor looks good. This is a bigger one. Sable Minors are just fantastic palms for a cooler climate. This yucca's okay. I did protect this Cordyline Indivisa with leaves and a frost blanket. Blue Sentries are good. This large Sable Minor also looks good. Absolutely zero protection for that guy outside of these leaves. These yuccas are good. Let's see now across here. The bamboos look okay. Obviously the rhodos are good. This Formia I did protect with some frost cloth and some blankets because I did lose it the year prior, but that was double as cold. The Rostrata. There's some Blue Sentries down there. They look okay. My big Trachycarpus Fortuna is good. I do have a heat cable around it though, which I didn't turn on when it was -6 because I haven't. Why not? And then this needle palm, again another bulletproof palm. Absolutely no problems with that. The Camrops Surifera, because I love this palm so much, I did take some protection methods to it. I did put a few blankets on top of it. I did put old school C9 Christmas lights for heat and then covered it in a tarp. So as you can see, it looks good right now. Hopefully there won't be any issues with it. I noticed the color guards are getting their usual, spots from fungus. So that's just a cold, wet that's causing that. The variegata ones are very susceptible to that. As are these magenta yuccas, which I was hoping weren't, but look at that. It looks absolutely awful. So I might be pulling those guys out this year. I don't want to deal with that. Another small Trachycarpus cross Fortunae and Nanus. I covered this one with a frost cloth and a blanket, and it looks okay. And again, I did that because it's a small palm, freshly planted. If it's larger, probably wouldn't need that much protection. Lastly, in the front yard, my Jubea. So this is my prize, my favorite palm. I did protect this one because I do not want to lose it. So I had a structure built for it. I had a 2x4, some blankets and a tarp, and then some C9 old school Christmas lights for heat. And I think it actually grew in the shelter because when I took it off, it looked way bigger, and it also had some new spears pushing. So obviously very happy, and doesn't look like there's any damage to that. Musabashius, they probably will. A lot of this pseudostem looks pretty mushy, so it's probably going to be mush all the way down to where the leaves are, if not a bit lower, but that's okay. These things come back every year huge, so not worried about that. This is a Fajoja or pineapple guava. It doesn't look like too much damage to it. There might be a little bit of browning here on the new growth, but definitely still alive. Lastly here, I have the other Trachycarpus Fortunei. Again, just has a heat cable around it, but doesn't look like there's any issues with that. I did protect this Fatsia japonica variegata because I didn't want to lose it, and at around -5, it's worth putting some sort of protection for it. Let's see, Schilfera taiwaniana looks great, and my big guy Tetrapanax here, I did wrap up with this bubble wrap and some leaves at the base, and then even the new growth up here is still looking good. So that's good. And then the other olive I have here looks fine too. So all in all, not too bad, and hopefully that will be our last freeze of the winter. Hoping, crossing my fingers, or at least last polar vortex, because I really hate those. Like if it gets cool to like 0 Celsius, I don't mind, or even -1 or 2, but minus 9 or something like that, we hate those temperatures around here. Anyways, that's a quick update for you guys. Hope you guys are having a great day. Thanks for watching.